These things happen because of the predatory narcissists that cluster around our mothers. Now, let's talk about why these narcissists get their chance. The easy road would be to blame our mothers. The comfortable path would be to vilify them, call them unfit, assume that they had some fatal flaw in their character. But if we do that, the children who need help the most will never, ever get it. Every mother who is adequately supported will care for her children well. Our mothers do not get the support they need because the true impacts of what is called work are not understood. Our mothers were never told of the risks. They were lured into the trade that promises much money. They're told that what happens at work stays at work. I wish it were true. I really do. Let me tell you about Shelley. Shelley answered the kind of ad that my parents ran. It said little, it suggested money. During her interview, she was told she could earn $20 for half an hour of massage, $40 for an hour. She nodded. It was mentioned that the clients would be naked. She smiled. That was okay, she said. Men are just men, you know. Sometimes they might get an erection. Would that embarrass you too much? No, she said. So she was invited back to be trained by my father. Now, my father could be a charming man. As the training progressed, she learnt she could make a lot of money, a lot more money, if she was prepared to help with their embarrassment. And my cat is coming in. Come on, dude. So my father could be charming, especially if there was some fresh meat who might assist him in overcoming his own embarrassment. He made it seem so easy that for Shelley the day quickly arrived when she was ready for her first shift in my parents' brothel. Always, 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 there was the message that it was just a kind of work, that what happens at work stays at work, that it can't hurt you. Just like smoking couldn't hurt. Who will you put her with first? My father asked my mother. She shrugged. Someone easy. Let's start her off. And it would be someone easy because fresh girls are always popular and the person on the desk has the pick of clients for her. She came out of her first job almost glowing. He was so nice. It was so easy. I forgot to ask for money. He just left it out for me. My mother smiled at her, reassuring her that's how it was always going to be. It was as if it was kind of like a one-night stand, but with financial benefits. What Shelley was never warned about was the reality that would follow. Unlike Napoleon's Josephine, who was passed from one rich or powerful man to another, Shelley was destined to be a mid-level sex worker who didn't just have one client for days or weeks or months at a time, with the sex constantly interspersed with high cultural soirees, glamorous holidays or luxurious surroundings. What she was going to get, what she did get, was 5 or 7 or 10 different clients in a single shift. When she began, she was fresh. She truly engaged with them. And the best clients, the gentlest, the easiest, the most compassionate, they liked and desired that quality, that engagement. They wanted her. They happily paid the kind of money that she'd been led to expect. But sooner or later, Shelley got tired. She came out of the room and mentioned to another worker that all she really wanted was to go home, have a long hot shower, go to bed, leave work at work. Think of the money, she was told. Just get through it, she was pushed. She mentioned how she felt to management, and she was reminded that her shift wasn't over. She had bookings. If she left early, she might not work again. So she weighed up her needs. She needed money for food, for rent, for her kids' school, for car repairs, house insurance, whatever. She had to choose which pain was she going to accommodate. She stayed, she pushed. Her subsequent clients noticed that she wasn't fresh. Next time, they sought out a newer girl. Shelley found herself getting more second-tier clients, the ones who are not so gentle, the ones who treat her more like meat, the ones for whom compassion is a word in a dictionary that they don't look up. Tiredness becomes discomfort. Management says, use more lube. Other workers smile with unspoken words. They suggest you just get on with it, because after all, that's what they do. It got worse. One day it's slow. Bills are due. Nathan comes in. Nathan is one of those marginal clients. He's selfish, arrogant. He treats workers like meat. At the very least, he's a true narcissist. And as we know from the Bible of psychiatric medicine, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the line between narcissism and psychopathology is pretty fine. Management said she didn't have to see him. The receptionist gave her a choice. She turned to the other girls who dealt with him. They shrugged. They said, he's a bit single-minded. He's very focused. He knows exactly what he wants and when he wants it. And as long as you give him exactly that, he won't be too bad. After all, they'd done him. Not really knowing what she's letting herself in for, she decides to see him. If what happened next was in a different context, it could be called rape. But Shelley got paid for it. She got money. After Nathan, other clients are easy as long as she turns off, numbs out, disconnects, disassociates. She stays, she works, she makes the brothel money. The power of the cultural institution that is the sex trade worked on Shelley in multiple ways. There was the lie that it's just a kind of work, that what happens at work stays at work. There was the seductive element. Look at all this lovely money. Imagine what you can do with it. It worked on her mind through her body. It's only going to hurt if you fight it. It became a threat. How will you survive if the money stops? It takes on the core element of Stockholm Syndrome, because after you've been in pain, you misread lack of pain as if it were true caring. The result is a kind of dissociation. From then on, nice clients, the ones who are gentle, the ones who know what compassion is, they don't want a girl who isn't really there. They don't want Shelley anymore. You know who will? The narcissists. The Nathans. Every brothel has its Nathan. Every brothel has a series of Nathans. Every woman in the sex trade has a slow week when bills are due and she will see somebody she ordinarily wouldn't. She chooses her pain. It writes itself into her body and her mind. She accommodates it. She becomes less present, more puppet. She reaches the point she's desired only by men who cannot see her dissociation, those who cannot feel her pain. These are people who see sex only in their own terms, as a need that must be filled, and they cannot imagine that Shelley felt anything less, anything other. And Shelley accommodates him, even as she wants to run or fight. You can't wash that off when you leave work. You cannot leave what happens at work at work. And this is the core of the dangers facing children of sex workers. As our mothers become more dissociated from their own bodies, as they accommodate the discomfort that comes from repeated exposure to sex with the Nathans of this world, as they become desirable only to the kind of person who sees their own pleasure, the same kind of person becomes attracted to them in their own personal lives. Why, you ask? That's simple. You spend a day servicing men with sex. You do things you don't really want to do, or you do things that you want to do but not with them. And hey, the money's mostly good and bills are due, and it's just like 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 one-night stands, but all in a row, all in the same shift, with financial benefits. It's just work. You just do it. You numb out. If you're lucky enough to have a truly caring partner, someone who can see your discomfort, they'll ask about it, they'll talk about it, they'll nurture and care for you. And if you can truly open up, if you can really tell them what's happening, you'll get out of the brothel. But if you can't, a sensitive partner will see the locked doors that you don't open. They'll hear the silence of the unspoken words. If they really love, if they truly care, they will try and try and try again. But silence grows. It fills the spaces of our lives, and someday they leave. The narcissists get their opening. These are the ones who don't see the pain. These are the ones who take what they want, imagine that their partner is feeling pleasure. Our mothers accept them because they are enmeshed within a specific version of the Stockholm Syndrome. Their new partners don't hurt them like Nathan did. So they must love them. And they take them home. And sexual narcissists enter the lives of their children. These are men who think that those they relieve their embarrassment with enjoy it as much as they do. They cannot see pain, they cannot see hurt, they cannot see long-term damage. What they see is youth and beauty and opportunity.